It was a disappointing week in Stillwater for Cowboys fans. They fall to 3-1. They could very easily be 2-2 because Arkansas should have won the football game, but they didn't. That's why you have a veteran coach like Mike Gundy in there. He found a way to win. Didn't do it last week because you know who else finds a way to win? Utah. If Cam Rising comes back for the Utes, conference title race over, give Utah the trophy now. But guess what? I have no confidence in Utah's ability to consistently put number 7 behind center and under center every week because I'm done expecting it. At this point, I'm going to be surprised when he is on the field. But death, taxes, and Utah football. So the Utes go into Stillwater and win 22-19. I picked him to win the game, albeit I thought Cam Rising would play. I thought Oklahoma State would win the game if Cam Rising didn't play. They did not. And so now the Cowboys are in a situation where they already have one Big 12 loss, and who are they playing this week? Oh, well, would you look at that? It's another top 25 showdown for the Cowboys, and the Pokes are going to, drumroll please, Manhattan, Kansas, where they're a 6-point underdog to Kansas State. Yeah, those two teams came into this year with Big 12 title, championship game aspirations. I'm just speaking in all sorts of craziness tonight. As I'm recording the show, you're just going to have to deal with it for today. We'll see if it's out of my system by tomorrow. But I'm fired up. Talking college football, how could I not be? Kansas State has just a fluky bad game. Now, they didn't play well. BYU outplayed them. That game had a lot of craziness to it. It had a lot of late night, on the road, wild. This is the same Kansas State team that housed Arizona 31-7 or whatever it was. I don't even remember. It wasn't close is all you need to remember. Kansas State needs to win a game at home, and so does Oklahoma State. Because these are not non-conference games. Kansas State, Arizona, that was a non-conference game that just showed you what to expect. Arizona, by the way, goes to Utah this week at Rice-Eccles after they blew them out at home last year. I bid the Wildcats of Arizona good luck. I bid that to Oklahoma State as well, as they take on the Wildcats of Kansas State, who I think are going to come out with some sort of attitude. Now, Oklahoma State should as well, because they know they should have been able to win the football game, and they didn't. You should have been able to compete. They had their backup quarterback. You were at home. Still lost the game. Now you have to go on the road. Hostile environment against a ticked-off Kansas State team. That's just the way that I'd imagine that locker room is feeling after last week, that knows they are better than what they put on the field. Loser of this game is done as a contender to make the Big 12 championship game. You heard me correctly. They are not going to make it. Allow me to explain why. Oklahoma State on their schedule this year, after Kansas State, still has to play West Virginia. They still have to play at BYU, at Baylor, at TCU, Arizona State, Texas Tech, and Colorado. I'm not saying they won't win a majority of those games. Do you think they're winning all of them? Because you are not getting to the conference championship game with more than 2 losses. So you've already got one. And if you lose to Kansas State, you suddenly have to go undefeated in that stretch, and that's not going to happen. So that's why Oklahoma State, must-win situation. Kansas State, same thing, must-win situation. Because they have to go on the road back-to-back games following a bye. They play Oklahoma State, then they're at Colorado. Ask Baylor how easy it is to win a game that you should win there in Boulder. Then they have to go at West Virginia. They host Kansas, they go at Houston, they host Arizona State, they host Cincinnati, they go at Iowa State. Until that Iowa State game, a lot of winnable contests in there. But as we saw, Kansas State can struggle with a team that they shouldn't struggle with, at least on paper. So Oklahoma State and Kansas State, I think it is phenomenally awesome and the epitome of why college football is better than the NFL from a television interest standpoint. I know it doesn't do the same numbers, but there is no matchup in the NFL this week in which a team has to win or they are done as a contender to make the conference championship game. That doesn't exist. It does exist in Manhattan, Kansas this week. And I'll tell you right now, I like the Wildcats. I like the Kansas State Wildcats, but in the other Wildcats game, yeah, I definitely like the Utes at home. So That's just a fun game. That's just a fun game with some big time stakes. Big time stakes. Loser, Big 12 title game, out, done, goodbye. College football playoff not happening this year. That's on the line in Manhattan, Kansas this week. Oklahoma, by the way. Teams that could use a win. Yeah, Oklahoma didn't have a good week. Season's not over, depending on what you see as the expectations for the Sooners this year. Now, some people saw them as a playoff-capable team. I wasn't one of those people, and now there is a mad debate, which certainly raged in the YouTube comments on a segment I put out the other day, about what Oklahoma should do at the quarterback position. A lot of people want to move on from Jackson Arnold. Okay, well, if you think that Hawkins gives you a better opportunity to win, what exactly you think you're accomplishing this year? You're getting him playing time for next year? Okay, that's fine. Let's see how you do against Auburn, who need to win this week, or there are going to be calls mounting amongst the Auburn fan base, just a sneaky suspicion I have, to fire Hugh Freeze. That's what you've got on the line in Auburn, Alabama this week. It's the 5th straight game that Auburn is playing at Jordan-Hare Stadium, and guess what? They have only won 2 of them. They've won 2. They lost to Arkansas last week. They lost to Cal this year. I mean, it has not been good. The offense has been horrible. That is a good defense, capable running backs, and the offense stinks across the board. And interestingly enough, in a game where those two fan bases are going to be clamoring for a win, to just cling to some level of positivity and hope and optimism for this year, you've got 2 offenses that don't know what they want at quarterback, don't know who they need at quarterback that's on their roster right now, and have played good defense. This game, let me figure out what the win total or what the point total is in this game, because the defenses in this game I think could really shine. Oklahoma's defense is good. I think Auburn's defense is pretty darn good, but the offenses leaving a lot to be desired there on both sides. So Oklahoma favored by 2.5 according to our friends at FanDuel. The over/under is 45.5. I'm telling you right now, I like that under a lot. This has 17-13 written all over it. You flip a coin and tell me who wins. But those are teams that need a win, because Oklahoma would like to feel good about their first year in the SEC. Auburn would like to feel good about their head coach. You tell me, who's got more urgency to win, Auburn or Oklahoma? Let me know your thoughts in the YouTube comments. Appreciate everyone listening. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.